Well, good morning everybody. I am back out at this beautiful preserve, and I did a video here of kind of showing what I do when I arrive at a new preserve. And I did a video on that, kind of exploring the location. And now I've been here a couple of times now, and I have a pretty good sense of where things are, the species I want to photograph, and how I want to set up and try to photograph those species. I've already gotten quite a few different species and gotten some nice footage here, but today I'm out and I'm going to try to get some more footage. So first things first, I'm going to try to go and spend some time around this young, early successional forest here. It's a nice, a really thick young forest area that they cut, and all of these new saplings are coming up now, and they're probably about 20 feet tall now. I found a lot of warbler species here when I was exploring before. There's already a bunch of things singing, and I'm going to try to get some more footage of these amazing little warblers here while the light's still nice. And then once it kind of gets a little bit too bright, I'm going to move into the forest and try to photograph some of the species that are in there as well. So that's my plan. So let's get to it while the light's still nice, and hopefully we can get some of these awesome warblers and also hummingbirds as well. So let's go. My name is Todd DeWald, and I am a full-time wildlife and conservation photographer in New England. I invite you to join me in exploring the incredible diversity of wildlife that call this region home. Along the way, I'll share my knowledge and experience to help us all become better naturalists and better photographers. My hope is that these videos inspire you to discover the wildlife in your own area and use photography as a way to protect the natural places that remain. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, consider subscribing and joining the journey. Thank you for watching. Well, there's definitely a lot of activity, but the problem I'm having is all the activity is up high still. And there's this one particular perch that's about 30 feet up that there's been a common yellowthroat, a ruby-throated hummingbird, and a veery perched on it within the last couple of minutes. So I've gotten some footage of them, but it's just so high up, it's not really worth anything. But there's a common yellowthroat singing up over that way. There's an indigo bunting back up this way on the tree, kind of treetop. So not much low that I can actually get some decent footage of. So I'm gonna kind of move down along this hedgerow here and see if I can find anything else. This just whole thicket area is a great spot to be finding things. I mean, there's just so much in this, but it's so dense that you can't really penetrate it to get through anything. It's just a huge thicket. So you kind of have to stay along the edges of it. So hopefully we'll have some success. There's a blue-winged warbler that I'd really like to get some footage of. It flew off and landed on a tree right above me for about like 10 seconds, and it flew off again, but it's calling again back this way. So let's see if I can relocate that. Situations like this can be really frustrating because you can hear all the birds in there. They're calling, they're singing, but it's so thick that you can't see them, and they only pop out to this edge for a couple of seconds before they duck back in or they go to another tree. So it's really hard to be able to get any footage of them. So I found this kind of flowering shrub or tree. I'm not too sure what it is, but it has some like clusters of white flowers on it. So I'm just going to kind of set up here. Because these flowering trees and such are good spots for insects. So there might be a chance that a warbler might come and check them out and see if they can pluck any insects off the tree, off the flowers. Or maybe I'll get some footage of some insects, some bees coming to the flowers, or maybe a hummingbird if I'm really lucky. But we'll see. You kind of have to kind of have to choose your spots, because if you just keep moving around, you're really never going to find anything, and you want to try to increase your chances of finding anything and getting nice footage at the same time. So I'm hoping that something's going to come to these flowers, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's just a really nice morning out. You can't complain about that, that's for sure. It's nice and cool still, and it's breezy, so the insects are kind of knocked down a little bit. Now we just need to get some birds to photograph them. Didn't have any luck with that flowering shrub, but I came over to this location because I had found a yellow-bellied sapsucker nest in a tree cavity when I was here before. Last time I was here there was no activity, but this time there was just an exchange at the nest. So I'm going to get myself set up, put some camouflage on, and sit and try to get some footage of this. Awesome. These sapsuckers found a really nice cavity for their nest. It's protected on basically 3 sides, which is really good for them, but not so good for me for trying to get some footage of them. So I found kind of a section that I can see through the leaves. It's partially blocked by some branches and leaves, but down below where the cavity is open. And I'm hoping that, because most of the times when they perch below the cavity, and then the one that's in the cavity flies out, and then the one that's kind of just arrived goes into the cavity from the bottom. So I'm hoping that I'll have a clear shot of the one that is newly arriving. But it's tough because it's so breezy that the branches kind of keep swaying above it, so it kind of partially blocks things. I'm not sure, the one that was in the cavity had just left. So I'm not sure how frequent they're going to be switching off. It would definitely be more frequent if they have hatched already and they're delivering food. But we'll just have to sit quietly and wait and see if we have any success. They just switched off again. So that was about 5 minutes. So we'll have to wait and see if they kind of do this constantly every 5 minutes or so, or what happens. But it worked out perfectly. The one laying down below, the other one came out that was in the cavity, and then they scooped up into the cavity from below. So put my 2x teleconverter on just to try to get a little bit more magnification when the birds come in. So I'm at 800mm right now. I obviously can't get closer to the nest for visibility reasons and just for ethical reasons. So having this allows me to get some more magnification on the footage. And then I'm going to be able to also go into crop mode and also engage my internal teleconverter as well, so I can get some really close-up stuff. Okay, it's never good when a hornet flies up next to you like that. Okay, where was I? So I can engage my internal teleconverter as well to get even more magnification, and switch it into crop mode so I can hopefully get some really close-up stuff when they're kind of going in and out of the cavity. So I've taken off my camouflage because the bugs were just like all over it, swarming it. So the good news is that this cavity is right along a trail. So I'm pretty confident they're used to humans, and I've been here for a half hour, 45 minutes or so, and they've been constantly coming back and forth and don't seem to mind me at all. So that's really nice. And I'm actually kind of concealed in some of these, like this evergreen tree behind me and such, which is working really well. But it's about every 5 to 10 minutes or so that the second sapsucker comes over and relieves the one that's in the nest. I think I got it. I was able to hear the second sapsucker coming through the forest because it was doing its calls as it was coming closer. And that was my heads up, so I was able to press record and it came right in. Awesome. I've managed to get a couple different angles of the woodpeckers swapping positions in the cavity. So I think I'm gonna pack up and leave them here now and let them continue on what they're doing. And I'm gonna head into the forest farther and see if I can find anything else. This is really awesome. I just found a white-breasted nuthatch nest. Just being really still right now because there's one that's actually right outside the cavity right now, and I'm just spotted it, and I want to try to move a little bit farther away, put on my camouflage again, because they're definitely more wary of me than the sapsuckers were. I also want to be really careful because they're definitely delivering food to their young, because both parents just came back with caterpillars in their mouths, so they're trying to feed them. So I don't want to disturb them. They're on that tree right there. It's an old white pine. It has a cavity about 10 feet up on the trunk. Okay, they both just left. I'm gonna duck down in this brush over here and hide myself as best as I can. I've got myself set up. I have kind of my scarves on me and around the lens just to try to conceal myself a little bit, decrease my figure. And now I just need to wait for the nuthatches to come back. I'm pretty sure one is in the cavity right now. So I'm just have to wait for them to be active again. It's really awesome to be able to find 2 cavity nests in the same day. I mean, I knew the yellow-bellied sapsucker one was there and it was active, so I already had an idea to set up there, but this one I just happened across. But it's really important when you're out in the field to kind of watch for patterns and behaviors. So I was walking through and I saw this nuthatch fly off this pine tree, and about 2 minutes later it flew back to it. So it's a good indication that, especially this time of year, there might be a cavity nest there. And sure enough, I came around farther around the tree and found the cavity, and then the second nuthatch came down too. Also, if you see a bird with insects in its mouth, it's a good indication that it's probably around its nest somewhere. So keep an eye out for that. But you also have to remember to be extra vigilant about what you're doing. Obviously, these birds are trying to feed their young, so you don't want to cause a disturbance and cause a problem for them to kind of interrupt food service for these babies. So I'm gonna sit here, be really quiet, and wait for these nuthatches to come back so I can hopefully get some nice footage of them. It's always nice when you get to watch an encounter like that and see that happening, but then also be able to leave and be pretty comfortable that your presence wasn't causing any disturbance, because they were active, going back and forth, continuously bringing back caterpillars and other insects and feeding their young. I'm pretty sure you could hear the young. I could hear the young. I'm hoping that the microphone caught their sounds as well. We'll have to see, but I hope it did. It's just really awesome. It's so nice when you get to come to a location that you've been to a couple of times before. That's really why I was successful in getting the yellow-bellied sapsucker nest, because I knew it was there and I knew where to set up, and I got the footage that I could with the vegetation there. But sometimes you just get lucky too with this nuthatch nest. You just have to be aware and look at behaviors and look at patterns and look at things that are happening around you. We probably walk past so many nests and cavity nests that are being used, but we just don't see the activity at the right time to be able to see that that's actually an active nest. So sometimes we get lucky. I'm really, really glad I was able to see that and get some footage there. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is going to be it for me today. I'm gonna wrap it up and hike out of here. I have to head back, but I hope you enjoyed. I really love this preserve. It's a really nice spot. It's just so lush and green right now. Everything's so green. So thank you so much again for watching. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you like this one. Let me know what you think. Again, I have channel memberships now. If you're interested, you can join. I really appreciate your support. Really, really appreciate your support. But that's going to be it for me today. Time for me to get away from the mosquitoes and the bugs and such and head home. So I'll see you next time.